Hey everybody, good morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning on the 3rd of September 2021. I'm here to do an update on the markets. I'm going to take a look at the S&P, taking a look at Bitcoin, taking a look at Nasdaq. I'm also going to take a look at Russell because I've been looking at that chart for a while. I've got a lot of garbage on the chart, but I'm going to try and make some sense of it for you all for a projection for the Russell 2000 index here coming in the next year or so. I may also take a look at some alts as well. If there's any that you want me to take a look at, just throw it in the chat. I do all of this live, and you may ask me to take a look at something I've never looked at before, so I will always give you an honest opinion on what I think the chart looks like. Not taking a look at any news, no events, just looking at the chart and seeing where I think things are going. Before I get into any of this, of course, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. So this is the Russell chart. I'm gonna start here today, just because this is a chart that I still have up. This looks interesting. So I've got a couple things here in the chart, and they make a lot of sense to me. So let me see if I can remove some layers here so that it maybe makes a little sense, or a little more sense. All right, so first off, I'm gonna hide this guy right here. I don't really have any reason to show that right now. What I want to focus on is this 1, 2, and then the smaller 1, 2. So I overlay these on top of each other so that we can see where there's some overlapping resistance. When you are reaching prices that are above where the previous highs were, this trend-based fib extension tool is really the only thing that you have. It's really the only tool that you have to determine where resistance is going to be. And depending on where that is in terms of your Elliott wave count, you'll find that it can be substantial resistance or it can be small resistance. So an example right here. We've got a 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, if we're back here at this 2, we're now looking at where is there going to be resistance. Well, we've got the 100, the 618, and the 123.6 of these two fib pulls, and there was resistance there, although it was minor. Okay, then it pushed through. Well, here's our next area of resistance: the 618 to the the 1618 to the 175. We had some resistance there, but it pushed through. We had a little bit of resistance here, but where are we getting the most resistance? We're getting the most resistance where both of these overlap. You've got the 123.6, that's our yellow line, of the larger count, and we have the 2618 of the smaller count. So what I'm doing there is I'm now taking that and determining that I've got a 1 and then a 2, and then I'm counting this as the wave 3. Okay, because we have, of this count, this 1, 2, we've already passed the 1618 to the 175. We almost got to this 2618. That'd be a good target for wave 3. We're moving sideways in what looks like a serious wave 4. Okay? It looks like a serious wave 4 that we are in right here. Honestly, this reminds me a lot of Tesla. Tesla, was it like for about a year and a half, Tesla did nothing but just move sideways. It looked almost exactly like this. Okay, let me just go ahead and take a look at that chart here for a moment. Let me pull this out, and I've got this highlighted over here because, again, I was paying attention to this. Look at this. It just moves sideways from 2014 all the way through when it broke out in 2019. It finally broke out in 2019. Okay, I'm not going to get into the count on Tesla, but it looks very similar to Russell. Okay? So what we're looking at right now on Russell, I could throw a little box around that would look almost identical, right? There's going to be some variations. But what this leads me to believe is we are in a wave 4, and this probably isn't going to break down below 2100. Now, I was talking, I don't know, maybe it was last week or the week before. I said it's possible that it comes down to retest 2000. And the reason why I said it's possible it could come down to retest 2000, let me just pull this out, right? I hid this earlier. I have from our dominant pivot high to our dominant pivot low, and then we had the pullback. What did we have right here? 2077, the 100. 2018, the 123.6. it's still possible that it comes down here. I'm not going to rule this out, right? The markets still could have a flush. It's very possible. And then we can find this coming all the way down to 2000. But for now, I would say that we are really more in just a squeezing pattern, and we're just going to continue to tighten up before we build the momentum necessary to break in one direction. And my guess is probably going to break up. If I'm being completely honest, things look very overbought right now. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Taking a look at our indicator, what do we have? We've got, this is a futures market, so I'm going to refer to this red wave as the 12 hour. The 3 hour, both of them are overbought, right? It's very overbought. It has been really ever since, a couple days ago. So it's very possible we get a pullback. September in general is not a great month for returns, right? People always say this time is going to be different. Well, maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. But probability says that this is not a profitable month. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm making any kind of projection, that it is possible we do get that flush down to 2000, in which case I would be looking to pick up maybe some IWM, right? Now, taking a look at the upside, I still think that we are in this minor degree, a lesser degree, on this impulsive wave, right? So again, we're in this wave 4, in my opinion. Still possible we go down to 2000. I'm not going to rule that out. But I still think by the end of the year, Russell may be all the way up at 3000, right? So what do we have? Again, we're looking for this confluence. We're always looking for confluence. And what I see here on Russell, well, I see the 1618 of the larger degree. This is our blue degree. I'm going to call it blue. It's really cyan. But on our blue degree, I've got this 1, 2, and then I've got wave 3 all the way up here between 2895 and 3075, 3090, right? So we've got this area up here, and we also have the 3618, which would be the target for wave 5 of the lesser degree. This is our green degree. So I've got this wave 5 sitting up here at about 2935. My guess is this guy is going to go, it potentially could poke through 3000, maybe go all the way up to 3100, but in a perfect world, this is what I want to see on Russell. I want to see September flush. Then I want to see a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what I want to see on Russell. This is ideal, okay? This would set us up for a great shorting opportunity. This would be the next place that I would be willing to short. Am I short here on Russell specifically? Yes, I am. I'm waiting because, again, it's a hedge. I also believe that this is going to be, a potential probability, high probability attempt at a short position. Again, it's a hedge. I'm still playing plenty of long positions, but I've got these hedges in case we do get this flush. And all of my hedges are low risk, high reward. If we get to flush the 2000, I'll pull several 100% on that trade. But at any rate, this is what I kind of expect to see for Russell. So let's take a look at the S&P 500. I'm going to go down to I think I'm actually going to go to the daily. Take a look at the S&P. This is the cleanest chart, in my opinion, that we've got. Here. Actually, I'm going to go down to, say, a 4 hour. All right, so we've been talking about this for a while. And again, last video I did, potentially, it was maybe 2 videos ago, I said we were going to overthrow this ending diagonal, right? And you can see here, this is way back here on August 24th, is more than likely around the time where I did this. I said we were going to pull back, and we did. I said we would overthrow, and we are. And then I would say we're going to get that flush down to the larger wave 4. So if I go to the hourly and take a look at this, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You can put the 3 up here if you'd like. I like it back here. It doesn't really matter. One way or another, we finished a move here. We had a pullback, and now we are in the middle of this. Now, this looks like a wave 4 to me right here, which means that we should have another thrust up, okay? We should get another thrust up. We poked inside of this red box that I've got here, 45, 51, 25. This is on ES futures. This is on the S&P 500 futures, not SPX itself. 45, 51, 25 is where I'm looking for there to be some significant resistance, and already looks to me like there has been. right? So we attempted to push through that just now, okay? In this hour, we attempted to push up and it got rejected. So I would expect there to be continued resistance in this area. Do I think today is going to be a significant red day? No, I tend to believe today is going to be pretty much just a sideways day, but I'm looking up here, right? Specifically, I'm looking at about 45.65, 45.75, maybe a push up to, and including 4600. More than likely, that's where that could potentially be going. All right, let's take a look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq's a little trickier to count this out because it doesn't look like the S&P at all. It doesn't have an ending diagonal the same way that the S&P 500 does. It's not moving exactly the same way that the S&P 500 is, just the same as Russell is not moving the same way as well, because we've got money rotating. And in my opinion, tech stocks, Nasdaq stocks are going to be where a lot of money is going to be rotating into, tech stocks. So I'm not going to get into which stocks I prefer, but what I'm looking at here is this 1-2. Okay, let's pay attention to this 1-2 that we've got here. Because we pushed up to the 2.618, that was, in my opinion, our wave 3. We've got a sharp wave 4 here, but it still took longer than this wave 2 here. Okay, we had a short wave 2, a little bit longer wave 4 here, and now we are in my opinion, the beginnings of a blow-off top on Nasdaq. So what do I have? What do I have as a projection for Nasdaq? Well, I think that we've got the beginnings of a potential for a blow-off top. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we can't flush, right? That doesn't mean we can't flush. I've got the daily chart on here. Let's put some moving averages on here. Do I have my moving averages? I don't. Let's see if this one will show. There we go. Okay, so I have the daily chart up here, and a couple things that I'll just point out. We tend to try and move back to this cyan moving average, which is the 100 exponential. We touched it here, we broke down below it here, came back up above and retested it here. We tested it here. So again, if we do a pullback before we move up, you know, again, this could happen in September, a pullback to about 14,500, and then we move up to this target. So again, very similar to what I was talking about for the Russell, right? Russell, pullback and then move up. Nasdaq, could you be doing the same thing? A pullback and then move up? Very possible. Very possible. The S&P 500, we are finishing that diagonal. Here's that pullback. Then what do we have coming up next? Then we have a move up. Now, we could keep moving up. I have to acknowledge that we can keep moving up. We don't have to get this flush. But I have cash on the side waiting for the flush to occur because I think it will happen. And then that's going to be a good opportunity for taking positions for longer term, in my opinion. But again, we've got the 4618. Let me just point this out. We have the 4618 up here. That's going to be from this first pull, this 1-2. The 4618 is right up here at 17,700. Then we have, let me get rid of the moving averages to kind of clean up the chart just a little bit here. And then I'm going to go and take a look at Bitcoin next. All right, so let's just take a look at this. I've got here a 1-2, which is this fib pull. We've got the lower here that we have as resistance, also for this guy right here at the 175 from this 1-2, right? So in my opinion, we've got a 1-2, 1-2, and then we've got the 3 going down for the 4. We shouldn't violate this high right here, which is at 14,000, but going down here to this 4 at about 14.5 would be nice. And then we go up for the 5, which is going to be where the 3618 is of this smaller 1-2. It's going to be where the 2618 is of this 1-2. And again, it's also where this 4618 is of the larger 1-2, which should complete wave 5 of wave 5. Okay? And then that potentially is going to be a larger wave 1 of a much higher degree. So looks really good right now. Looks really good. You know, we get this pullback to kind of freak people out, get people into short mode. It's going to look probably very similar to this right here. It happened very fast. It happened very fast. So it wouldn't surprise me to get something like this, because this happened in September of last year. It happened on Labor Day or after Labor Day, one or the other. September 3rd, that's when we had a minus 5% day, right? And that was followed by a minus 2% day, followed by a minus 4% day. In 3 days, we had minus 5%, minus 4%, and minus 2%. That's significant, right? And we continued to go down a little bit, but we started to settle out, and then we moved up, and then October hit, and it did almost the exact same thing, right? So September, pullback. For 3 weeks in September, pullback. And then same thing in October, from October 13th through the end of the month. That was 2 weeks of a pullback in October. So we could have something like that happen. September specifically just hasn't always been the greatest month for making money. But again, this doesn't have to happen. This can keep setting up. Honestly, the way it's setting up, it looks like it's setting up for blow off top to really kind of fake people out, right? We could have a little bit of a pullback. I don't think it's going to be significant like this. I'm looking for a move back again. I'd already talked about this, maybe 14.5 before it moves all the way up to potentially 17 to 17.5. Okay, so you got to be careful for that. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin. All right, taking a look at Bitcoin. I'm going to pull out my Bitstamp chart. I've got the daily. I want to talk a lot about what this chart looks like right now. Actually, I don't want to take a look at that chart because that one looks not right. Here we go. This is better. Okay, so let me try and put this all together for you. All right, so I've got a 1, 2 here, right? This 2 was very, very, very tiny, indicating a lot of strength, right? And into that, I've got a leading diagonal into a 1, 2, 3. I think you can all agree with me, this looks like a wave 4. It's just moving sideways, and it took more time to get into this wave 4 than this wave 2 took. All right, so we got the wave 4, and then we have a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then we get our pullback, this little A, B, C, showing signs of strength. All right, from there, I'm going to clean this out because I don't think it's as important right now. So again, we have a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Again, a little expanded flat into a 2. And then we have the 3, 4, and then we have our ending diagonal here into wave 5. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ending diagonals can look like this. Wave 3 is short, but it's not shorter than wave 5. Wave 1 is the longest. Wave 3 can be shorter than wave 1 or wave 5, but wave 3 can't be the shortest, and in this case, it's not. So this looks good. Yeah, Bitcoin is attempting a little bit of a breakout right now. Right now, let's see here. So the high right now is 59.58. My target here is 51,075, right? And that's based off of the 618. I'm going to talk about that here in just a minute. Yes, I will take a look at Shiba as well. So off of this 5, right? In my opinion, that completed wave 3. So again, we've got a 1, 2, 3, right? So we've got wave 3 up here. We tagged the 1618 almost absolutely perfectly, right? That 1618 was sitting right up here. You can see it based off our trend-based fib extension tool. If we were in an impulse, that was where it was going to stop, and that is where it stopped. Again, you can see we had resistance here at the 123.6. Again, this was blue sky territory. Nobody would have known that 41,800, 41,500 would be a good area of resistance, and it was. Pulled all the way back to about 29,000. Then we moved up, and it hit that 1618. Again, you can use trend-based fib extension tools to predict where there's going to be resistance, where you should take profit, right? And it hit that perfectly. And now we pulled back, and I want to talk about this pullback because I'm on the fence. I've got 2 counts here. I'm only showing you guys 1, and this is going to be the bullish count, right? If this is a 1, 2, 3, which means wave 4 could be done. Wave 1 didn't take long. Wave 4 did take longer, right? Just like we were talking about back here. Wave 2 didn't take long. Wave 4 did take longer. In this case, on the larger degree, our yellow count, we've got the 1, 2, didn't take long. 3, 4 it's possible that that wave 4 is done and we just go up from here. We don't retest 30,000. That is entirely possible. Okay? That is entirely possible. So, off of these lows, what I'm looking at now is, oh, real quick, before I talk about those lows, where did we pull back to? If this is wave 2, if I'm right and this is wave 2, and I'm right and this is wave 3, I've got two fib pulls over here. So let me just hide this guy for a moment. These two fib pulls, one is, they're both pulling from the wave 2 low to the wave 3 high. One is on log scale, one is on arithmetic scale. And if you're in TradingView, it's real easy to do that. Fib levels based on log scale, just uncheck that for one of them. You put them side by side. But what do we have? What do we have? Well, let's just talk about what we've got, because it's really pretty interesting. We had a 618 pullback on arithmetic scale, and we had a 382 pullback on log scale. 382 is your high probability pullback for a wave 4. 618, that is, you know, kind of that golden zone that you're looking for between the 618 and the 65. I don't have the 65 on here, but it looks good. It looks real good. All right, so we've got high probability areas for a pullback for a wave 4, which is why I say it's possible that we've got this here. Now, if we reject literally right here at 51,000, if we reject at 51,000, it is very possible we go back to retest that 2017 high. Okay, you can't see it on this chart because it's all the way back here, right? Nope, that's not it. I don't have it on this chart going all the way back there. But anyway, it's about 20,000, right? If you're new and you weren't around back then, around 20,000 is where we topped out in December of 2017. But what we've got here is that 618. I do expect there is going to be resistance here. You could scalp a short more than likely, but this is where I think we are going to likely get some resistance. If we push through this, again, let's just talk about this here. If we've got from these lows, if we have a 1 and a 2, it looks to me like we don't really have a good case for a wave 3 at the 1618 to the 175, right? I don't see a wave 4 in any of this. Potentially pushing up to 55, right? If we don't get rejected here, if we do get rejected here, I don't think this is a 1, 2, 3. I think this is an A, B, C, A, B, C, and then we have an A, B, C for a correction, right? So there's two scenarios here. One of them would be corrective, because this looks ugly, right? Let me go down to a 3 hour and show this to you guys. I'm not a real big fan of this, okay? And that is this guy right here. That does not look impulsive, right? That doesn't look impulsive. What this looks like to me, if I'm being honest, let me get my tool here. This looks like A, B, C. That doesn't look impulsive to me. That's why I have a real hard time with this. I have a real hard time counting this. As I real hard time counting this as an impulse, because it doesn't look impulsive. Now this, oh yeah, this is corrective. 100%. This is corrective, right? So you could easily count A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. All right, just three waves of correction. Call it A, B, C, W, X, Y, whatever you want to call it. You could probably do a W, X, Y, X, Z on that if you wanted to. I'm just saying it looks corrective, right? This looks corrective. This looks corrective, which really has me skeptical, to be completely honest, has me skeptical of this going to new highs right now. Okay? I still think that Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000. It's possible that it goes higher than that. A 1-2 starting from the 21st of July. From here. So you're saying this is potentially a 1, working on the 1 right now. 1, 2. 3, 4, 1. So this could be the 1, and then this is the 2. I mean, that's possible. The problem is we didn't make a new low here, and really to start an impulse, it's got to be off of a low. Otherwise, it doesn't really work out. So, you know, off of this, if this is an A, B, and working on the C here, right? So the alternative here is that on a higher degree, we've got an A, a B, and then we've got the C up here. And of course, this would be on a higher degree. Let me just change the color on this guy. This is our bearish alternative. If you're a bear, this is what you want to see. So A, B, C. Let's do it again from up here. A, B, C for an expanded flat. And then from here, well, let's just use our tool. If we're taking it from here, and we are now doing this as an A and then a B, what do we have? We've got the C that would be sitting right up there. The 100% equality is going to be sitting right up there at 52,700. So this area here, let me throw the 65 on here. Okay, I'm going to throw the 65 on here to get the golden zone. $65 at 52,232. The 100 is sitting there at 52.7. We do have significant resistance right here. If we get rejected here, we could have that crypto winter scenario. Going down to the hourly, taking a look at the indicators, right? This 12-hour is still moving up. The 3-hour just curled up. So we could get that move up here to this area, right? So this area right here, I will go ahead and outline this because this is, in my opinion, where we are going to have the hardest time pushing through. Okay? This area is going to be major resistance. Okay? Our major resistance is going to be right here inside of this box. If we can push through it, then I don't think it's corrective anymore. Then I would think it's impulsive. I would need to go back and dig. I would need to dig long and hard to try and pull something impulsive off of this. Because of the fact that this went lower than this low here, it is not a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? That's a problem. That is problematic for an extremely bullish scenario. For a 1, 2, 1, 2, it doesn't seem right. It just doesn't look right. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to go and short the market right now. I'm just trying to say that it looks like we are going to be running up to some major resistance here in the near future, potentially today and tomorrow. Okay? Am I going to make any attempts at shorting? I mean, I might. I was talking about shorting up here between 51 and 54. I had 54 up here as a target, but I'm not sure that it's going to push above 53, right? So this is one thing I'm keeping an eye on. Okay, so let's take a look at SHIB. All right, well, just at a glance, right, the hourly looks healthy. The 3-hour looks like it's trying to curl. The 12-hour still looks good. Let's go to a higher time frame here. Let's go to a daily. Oh, how interesting. All right, this guy looks like he's in accumulation right now. Wow. Actually, let's take a look on the daily is curling up. I don't know if we've got enough history to get a weekly on this guy. I don't think we. It doesn't look like we do. We don't have enough history to get a weekly analysis on him. Right now, this looks like accumulation. This reminds me a lot of. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me go all the way back. I need to get it on Bittrex. So way back here, we had the drop when it was listed on Bittrex, and then it moved sideways for a few weeks, and then we had explosive move to the upside. So I would say SHIB looks okay. I actually, yeah, I'd say SHIB actually looks pretty darn good. I would say that on lower time frames, there's accumulation that did occur for a long period of time. at about 612. It's at 714, but the upside potential here is pretty significant. So let's just see if we can do this. If we do this, and we get the 1 here, and we get the 2 here, and that 2 is at 647, which means it shouldn't go below that. I'm on log scale, and you know, we've got, I mean, even from here where we're at right now, let's just talk about how I set up a trade. I would take a long position where we're at now and pull this guy up here, you know, do a little stop loss there. That's about 10% stop. In crypto, that's not bad. What are we looking at for targets? Well, I would take a look at least up here. That's 133%. I mean, I tend to believe it's probably going to go higher than that. Get off of... yeah, so for right now, yeah, it just looks to me like you're probably going to be able to pull a significant amount out of this guy. This is a 1-2 for sure. That wave 3 could be extremely extended, and then we go to wave 4, and then we go even higher for wave 5. When things go parabolic, it's going to be harder to count. It's going to be harder to count when things go parabolic, but SHIB looks really, really good. I believe it's created a bit of a bottom down here. We have demand down here, especially based off of this consolidation that occurred. I think SHIB looks really good. So that's my analysis. The Poloniex chart has the weekly wave. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, okay. And we've got the weekly. Maybe I'm looking at the... oh, there's the weekly. Gotcha. Okay, so it is... yeah, it's definitely... oh, and actually... oh, boy. You see, with this spike here, this probably had something to do with the listing on Poloniex. But the weekly looks fantastic. I mean, there's granted, there is limited history here. We only have data going back to April, but the weekly, it looks like it is crossing up, has crossed up. The daily looks good. So, yeah, the 12-hour looks okay. The daily looks really good. The daily crossed up. The 12-hour crossed up a couple days ago. This looks like a good chart to me. Yeah, I would say this does look good. So we will discuss this a little bit more in the Discord. So yeah, this looks good. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. If this video did help in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. If you need access to our Discord, visit BitDoctor.org. You can find more information on there. And of course, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening.